Alright, so I think I'm back. I think I'm back. Hey, don't bark. Alright, I think I'm back. So, just scooch that over. It's the easiest way to fix that. Okay. Yeah, no, I need to update my OBS. I really do. Shh, 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 shh. So, I was talking earlier about the, how I have this little face reveal of favorite humans tally bar at the bottom. And there it is, you can see that. And we are, oh, a sub! Tink's like, I heard the hand in the Cheerios. And speak! And speak! Tinker speak? Puck speak? Alright. Good girl. And make it rain. She has the idea down. Sorry, I'm just trying to fix my lighting. She has the idea down. She's trying. You gotta give her for that. So yeah, briefly before I mentioned that I have this, tally at the bottom, and it's literally just a fun thing. It's not a serious raising money thing, and, it's literally just that, for a face reveal of favorite humans. Okay, so we are at, she does think she's Puck. Thanks for the follow, Tesla Ranger! So that is even more Cheerios. Hey, Puck, speak. She's too busy. Tinker, speak! And there we go. Make it rain! Alright, thanks for the follow. As you notice, I am not shy about, showering the dogs with Cheerios. So, okay. So I have this up mostly, and I'm looking at the, thing, and we are at 1,526. So 2,250 minus, nope, not plus, 1,526 is 724 images. Yes, bits count towards face reveals. It is seriously just, it's a joking thing. Both of the favorite humans, both my favorite human and Dr. Pamela's husband have agreed to this. They agreed to the amount, and it is literally 100,000 bits per human. Dr. Pamela screwed up when she was sick and said 10,000 bits per human, which is why we're, already at 15%. So yeah, there's no deadline on this. It's whenever we hit 200,000 bits is when there's going to be a face reveal of the favorite humans. So yeah, it's just a fun... Hey! Are ya done? Alright, I heard more bits. Yes, 200,000 bits. It's... Do you need up in my lap again? That's what I thought. Alright, yeah, 200,000 bits. Yeah, I know it's a lot, which is why it's just a fun, not serious goal. But yeah, that's what happens when we hit 200,000 bits. It's a lot. I know it's a lot. Alright, so here's Bennu. So my goal for today is to do at least 3 images. And oh my. Also, we should probably tell the Bennu Mapper people in Discord once I'm in the right Discord server, that we're doing a support stream. So let me figure it out. Support stream now! Alright, there we go. So I probably pinged a whole bunch of you. I'm sorry for that. Is that a dinosaur footprint? It almost does look like a dinosaur footprint, doesn't it? Like this big void in between these two boulders. So Bermina asks, is each picture mapped 15 times? Is that what it means by each photo has 15 views? So, yes, that means 15 people, 15 sets of eyes have looked at each image, which is partially why it takes so long to get images to be done, is because take whatever number is left, which is like, what, 700 something? Let's go 725 for simplicity's sake. So you take 725, multiply that by 15. Alexa, what's 725 multiplied by 15?
725 times 15 is 10,875.
Yeah. 10,000 something. So yeah, it's a lot. That's why it takes so long to get through these. So yeah, 10,875. I think. Is that right? That feels like it's right. 725 times 15. Yep, 10,875. So that's why it feels like forever. That's how many that are left. But if you just think of it as each, there's 15 people doing each image. Each person has to do 700 and so many, which is why we're trying to get as many people involved. Are the numbers my images to be seen or everyone's images to be done? The numbers on the website that says remaining images is all the images that need to be done. So we need 15 people per one of those images. And the reason why I just pulled like 725 is because that's how far away we are from our halfway point. And I have my Apollo Lego set. And when we get to halfway, we can do that. We'll do a celebration stream for halfway because it's a big deal getting just halfway through these images. So we'll either build that together, we'll play games together. Like there are free multiplayer games on Steam. One's called Lunar Alpha. Anyways, it's Moon Alpha? Alpha Moon? Anyways, there's a free game on Steam that's multiplayer that has you essentially fixing a bunch of stuff on a lunar base, on a fictional lunar base. So a bunch of us could play that together. Moonbase Alpha, there we go. I knew I had it close. So, or if you have Astroneer or a couple other games, we could play those together. But, to be inclusive, that's the only game I can think of that's science, astronomy related, family friendly, and free. And it's good. It's pretty stable. So, John Madden. No John Madden. So, those are our options. It doesn't work on Mac? Oh no! I thought it did. Man, alright, I'll have to find a different game then, because I forgot about that. I will try to find something else that's either really cheap or free that is cross-platform. Astroneer unless Astroneer goes on sale for the summer Steam games, I don't think I'd count Astroneer as... It's affordable. I don't think it's more than $20, but by cheap I was thinking like less than $5. Because I know not a lot of people can afford to can afford to buy games all the time. So, and yeah, there are so many text-to-speech memes on Moonbase Alpha. And I'm trying to stay away from first-person shooters because I really don't enjoy first-person shooters, and I like cooperative games, and I feel like that's more in the spirit of the community, is doing cooperative games. Yeah, and I know not everybody plays games, which is why it's like, well, we can do a Lego build, or we can do this. There's also... what's it called? Tabletop Simulator, which is cross-platform. Hey, sucking cats! And we can play card games on that. So even if you don't play like games, or like if you want to play Uno, because we haven't played Uno in a while. But if you wanted to play Uno, we could play Uno like that. Another, like, there's other games that we could play that are like more party games. Like, Keep Talking and No One Explodes. Like, that's free for the people that are doing the manual thing. That's free for people doing the manual thing. I think there's also like Jack in the Box games and things of that nature. But yeah, if we were to play games, I'd like for it to be free or very, very, very cheap. Are we already halfway through? No. No, we are not, as Open Cage says. We are not halfway through. We're getting closer. We're inching towards being there. I'd really like to put my Legos together, which is why I'm like, we might just, you know, put my Legos together way before we do the celebration stream. We could build a rocket in Minecraft together. Is that even a thing in I have to think. In the cross-platform Minecraft, because A, Minecraft is not cross-platform. Oh, I meant to mute. I am so sorry. I vote for Bombadil's idea. Or Together PlayStation. Thank you. I don't have a capture card. I do have a PlayStation. I do not have a capture card. I'm sure that wouldn't be difficult to get one. And again, like, some games cost money. Oof, oof, oof. Thank you. I meant to mute. I'm so sorry. So yeah, no, I'm just spitballing ideas because I would like to do something to celebrate us getting halfway, because this has been a whole lot of work and this is very tedious. And I like to get as many people involved, which is why I'm like a free game or something extremely cheap. Because if it's extremely, extremely cheap, I could, because Hyundai sounds like a mineral, or is it just because of rocks? It's just because of the rocks. If it's extremely, extremely cheap, we could justify buying extra licenses and giving those away. Because right now the giveaway for the celebration stream is just going to be stickers. How about we all get ice cream and eat it at the same time? I mean, I'm game. And there's so many different kinds of ice cream, so even if you're vegan or you can't do dairy, we could all get something. Or if you can't have that because of a dietary restriction, you can do, like you're on a diet, for example, and get like ice, like flavored ice. Not like with this really syrupy things, I'm thinking more like Italian ice or sorbet. So... that really does sound good. Yeah, coconut ice cream or fruit pops. Yeah. That does sound good. Especially because it's summer in the Northern Hemisphere. Especially because it's summer in the Northern Hemisphere. Ice cubes can work, yeah. And you can even make really pretty ice cubes. I wonder if I could make astronomy-themed ice cubes. We can all have our drink of choice with like pretty ice cubes in it, even if you don't want to have ice cream. I have a thing to make like spherical ice cubes. It's amazing. Favorite human likes it for his scotch. I've been trying to get favorite human, and this would probably be awkward without the face reveal. Been trying to get favorite human to talk about things like why we should all read more comic books. I don't know, they can only make so many sequels to Friday. Scotch with ice cubes, what face? Yeah, it's to keep the scotch cold. And there's actually a little bit of chemistry to adding just a teensy bit of water to your scotch. Or bourbon. Or whiskey. Or things of that nature. If you want to add an ice cube to scotch, you want a big ice cube. You don't want a little ice cube. You want way more surface area, so it doesn't melt quickly. You want a big chunk of ice that doesn't melt quickly, and it keeps your scotch cold. If you really don't want to add water, there's also these things called whiskey cubes that people put in the freezer, and you add them to your scotch and it cools down your scotch without adding water. I think there's a glass in my freezer right now for the same purpose. Yeah, so there's a whole lot of things you can do. Oh, you don't typically want to cool down scotch. Maybe he's doing it with, I don't know why he's doing it. Maybe it's just because it's warm. Or he had bourbon and he was mixing bourbon with something. But yeah, there are things. Can you freeze scotch? Alcohol doesn't freeze. Scotch is not entirely all alcohol. The alcohol that we drink is a combination of water and it's a solution, literally a solution of alcohol in water. And because the concentration of alcohol is so high and alcohol has a much lower freezing point, it won't freeze here on Earth in a freezer. If you really wanted to freeze it, you could. But it has a very much lower freezing point. But yeah, it won't. You could stick it in the freezer and it won't freeze. Now, if you took it somewhere really, really, really cold, like off planet, that might be an issue. All right, I think I'm marking things that should be marked as rocks as boulders. There it is. That should probably be marked as a boulder. Yeah, and absinthe is historically was served by dripping, I think it was ice water over an ice cube into the absinthe. So, yeah, a whole lot of facts. But a lot of it has to come down to chemistry. And yeah, when I made my limoncello, I totally stored it in the freezer. It really does. Imagine making brews on Titan. Oh my. Yeah, and I mean, a lot of, all of this comes down to like personal preference, but the amount of chemistry behind all of it is fascinating. The amount of like botanical stuff, behind alcohol is also fascinating. And I know it's a little bit of a taboo because, different cultures and religions and such have kind of taboos on drinking alcohol because it is, quite frankly, a drug. It's a legal drug. But historically, for a lot of people, it's been important. And yeah, it can do a lot of damage, but there were periods of time in history where it was safer to drink a really, really, really weak beer. We're talking like only a couple percentage of alcohol by volume compared to the water, which would get you really, really sick. So, yeah. I store vodka with other cleaning agents. Yeah, you can totally use vodka to clean. You can get Everclear and say here in Ohio and say that you're going to use it for cleaning. And yes, as DPI says, Veronica and DPI says, pretty much everything in moderation. Everything damages you in excess. You can literally drink yourself to death on water, which you can. You can. Remember, you are a finely tuned biological and chemistry machine, and you must something, you're self-regulating for the most part, but if you must something up one way or another, you're going to have problems. So 200 milliliters of wine and sparkling water 50-50 is considered healthy a day. That actually, you know, doesn't sound bad. But alcohol tends to have more calories than water, which is why, another reason why people are like, no. And yeah, you can die from dying. You can die from so many things. Small to medium-sized human won't ride a bike because he thinks it's dangerous. So, you know, you can die from a lot of things. He thought my scooter had 4 wheels. I thought that was adorable. I thought that was adorable. Yeah, I'd ride your scooter. It has 4 wheels. You have not seen my scooter, child, have you? I can die from plants. That has 2 meanings, sock and cats. There are a lot of claims for a lot of things, and nutrition is really hard because there's a lot of competing claims out there, and there's also a lot of people that want to make money. And I think some of the best advice I've found is just moderation. I was trying a pun. Yeah, it kind of was a pun though. It kind of was. And evolution has like kind of tricked our bodies into like things that were not nutritionally dense, like how we're thinking of lots of vitamins and minerals and fiber and things, but like calorically dense when we were, you know, hunting and gathering and farming food, is that our brains were like, oh, fat, this is amazing, we want more of this, this is awesome, and it would hit reward triggers in our brains to help us survive. And I think carbs are the same way, and when you combine the two, like fried food, it hits both of the reward triggers. So we're like, yes, we want this, and because it's so good, and because food companies are like, hey, this is, you know, the magic formula for getting people to like literally keep eating our food, is yeah, that happens. Yeah, there is still a lot of junk science from the big pharma industry floating around. Because I think the USDA was trying, they used to publish recipes, and I think they're the ones in charge of the, it used to be Food Pyramid, now it's like Food Plate or Food Choices or whatever. They were trying to do the Meatless Monday thing, promote that. And the beef industry and things of that nature got really upset because you're like, you're cutting into our profits. It's like encouraging people to take 1 day a week and go meatless, mostly as, you know, a moderation thing, a budgetary thing, a health thing. Like, there's a gazillion reasons to do Meatless Monday. Yeah. And M points out there's this trick corporations like to do where they fund the same study over and over until they get a result they like and throw out all the other studies. Plus, there's a habit of when studies don't get the kind of result that they want or are looking for, the results never get published. So there's a lot out there. Nutrition is hard. Nutrition is hard. So many rocks on this. Why? Too bad NASA can't pull the same trick with Bennu. Just keep throwing spacecraft at it until it gets all the rocks it needs. That'd be neat though. It takes years to build a spacecraft. Just wait till I see the next. Oh my goodness. It feels like I'm gonna have to take a break after this one. There's a lot of gravel. There's so much. This is normal. This is normal. It's a lot. We were not expecting Bennu to look like... We're not expecting Bennu to look like this. We were expecting Bennu to look like the tutorial images. We were expecting it to be kind of smooth and have a couple rough spots, not boulders on rocks and rocks on boulders, and like, this is ridiculous. It quite frankly is ridiculous. And it's very tedious, which is why it can take some people, it takes them 15 minutes to do an image. Some people, it takes them half an hour. I know I tap out at about 3. And which makes me feel kind of bad because I'm like, oh no, I can only do 3. But when you look at it and you look at all the marks I'm making and all the processing that I'm doing while I'm talking, it is actually kind of a whole lot of processing power going on with all of this. So, and no, we can't have computers do this because there's too many variations in the rocks and the boulders, and humans have a superpower, which is pattern recognition. And we can tell you, okay, a rock is anything 1/2 the size of the blue dot marker to 3 times the size of the blue dot marker. And boulders are anything beyond that. And you'd be like, okay, cool. But computers, you know, you can't do that with computers. And I don't even know how to mark this. So, so the TPI says there are nice places and not so nice places on Bennu, and some are like this. Veronica says, my gravel driveway has less rocks. Bermina asks, are there any indications of suitable places yet? Yes, there are. There are a couple suitable places. We're going to be getting more images of potential landing sites, essentially close-ups of potential landing sites, and to look for, you know, debris and stuff. This, I forget how much space they need. So each one of these images is 22.5 meters by 22.5 meters. So this boulder right here is easily 5 to 10 meters across. So they might be able to try to pick up debris from like on top of a meter or on top of a boulder. There might be enough space here to kind of touch. They originally wanted like a 50, I think it was a 50 meter diameter circle for the touch and go process. But now they're like, well, I guess we're just gonna have to find something that's big enough. The real question, the pun, do they roll? Bennu spits out rocks. Bennu totally spits out rocks. They were aiming for a place 50 meters across that doesn't have any debris larger than 7 centimeters. Ha 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 ha. M says, we can even find patterns that don't exist. We can, like finding faces in agriculture. DPI says, but then they saw the images and said, well, let's try 10. So yeah, they might try to pick up debris from on top of this boulder, but I think they're really trying for a spot like this that doesn't have a whole lot of debris. So Open Cage says I totally read that as 50 centimeters. I mean, I don't think the collection head is all that big. I really don't. But they definitely wanted to have a very wide spot. Broken Pliers asks, is there a lander presently orbiting Bennu, or is this mapping project going to inform the design of a new lander? So, Broken Pliers, there is a craft called OSIRIS-REx that is currently orbiting Bennu. These images are from OSIRIS-REx, and it's not going to so much as land as much as it is just touch the surface and go. So let me pull up my camera to make sure that what I'm going to show you is going to make sense, and I'm going to make myself bigger so you can see. So imagine that this is the ideal landing spot. I'm holding up a red Tupperware lid. Imagine that this is an ideal landing spot for OSIRIS-REx. Well, not landing spot, but collection site. So it's nice and smooth, and like there's a couple bumps, but they're not too bad, right? You can navigate, and the center of this is pretty smooth. Like this will be a good collection site. So this is what we were expecting, like a couple, you know, undulations, but still like a mostly smooth surface. This is what we were expecting. Instead, I'm gonna grab some of my models here. Think of these models as like large boulders. So instead, we got, I know this is red on red on red, and literally, I've literally just picked up images or stuff from my desk. So here's a whole bunch of boulders. So that reduces the landing sites. And then, here, think of the Cheerios as rocks. My dogs are very excited right now. So, yes, 22, no, not centimeters across. One image is 22.5 meters across. So this is kind of, I know the Cheerios are kind of green screened out, but this is what we got. Instead of that nice flat image, or that nice flat surface, is we got a bunch of stuff. We have a bunch of stuff. This is our landing spot. Let me move that. So yeah, yeah, this is what we got, and let me extract all of my fake boulders. And make the dogs happy, make it rain! And this is what we were expecting. So yeah. So yeah, there are a whole lot of really, really big boulders. So OSIRIS-REx is supposed to do a slight bounce and pick up a few particles to collect. Yes, they're actually trying to collect a couple kilograms of, I think it's a kilogram, maybe more, of debris. But yeah, essentially they wanted to think of this, think of my hand as the nice ideal surface, think of this, think of my fist as the collection head. They just wanted to do, they just wanted to touch, blow some canned air to literally kick up small particles and go. And they can do that 3 times. And obviously when you had that thing like that, you can't just do that. And so this is an unideal landing spot. My fist is kind of in a jaggedy form. So here's that same landing head. If it hits the top of this, it might bounce back funny, or it might not just collect anything at all. But I think a big portion of what they're worried about is, instead of coming down and straight back up, is that it's going to bounce back funny. So yeah. Oh, the team is aiming, oh, the max capacity is 2 kilograms. The team is aiming for 60 grams. Thank you, DPI. I'm so glad you remember some of these figures, because I struggle with this. Socking Cat says, can we just send dogs up so they remove the fake rocks real quick? Oh my. Yeah. That would be awesome. If the rocks were really Cheerios, just have my dogs eat all the Cheerios. yeah, it's... yeah, some of these boulders are then big and flat enough to be landed on, yes. Like, this one boulder right here. Oh, wait, you're not looking at it. This one boulder right here is potentially big enough to be landed on. I think the concern is that they wouldn't collect a lot of matter. So, Sucking Cat says, I would really love watching the pickup. I would even trade 5 rocket launches for it. I don't know if they're going to televise that. I don't know if they have... I mean, obviously they have cameras, but I don't know if they can send snapshots of like how far and close they are to the ground. More bits! A type of asteroid known as a kibble pile. It is, right? Alright, so here's the Cheerios. Are you all Cheerio'd out, Puck? Where's Tinkerbell? I don't know where Tinkerbell is. Alright, here's the Cheerios. And make it rain! There's gonna be a sea of Cheerios over there. I don't even know where the other 2 dogs are. Please, 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 someone make them live stream it. I don't have that kind of power. It probably wouldn't be a whole lot to launch anyways, or a whole lot to watch anyways, because I'm not sure how long it takes for images to get back from OSIRIS-REx. It may take a matter of minutes, so it might be a lot of people talking about the mission, and you know, we get do that. Question: so after 7 out of 10, July 10th, if not all of Bennu mapped, what's the decision process? Maybe if we all send a postcard and ask really nicely. So after July 10th, if we're not completely done mapping, we'll keep on mapping. They've identified a few potential landing sites. They had identified a few potential landing sites even before we began mapping. So I think after July 10th, they're going to drop more images on us, and these are going to be close-ups to determine whether or not these are actually good landing sites. If they're good landing sites, you know, there won't be a whole lot of things to mark. If they're not so great landing sites, you know, there's going to be a whole lot of stuff to mark. But they're actually going to do science with all of these images that you see now, because things like, how are the boulders aligned? Do the boulders move? Things of that nature. So mission number 1 is let's get the craft a safe spot to get samples. And mission number 2 is let's do some science. So yeah, there's that. And getting that. DPI says, I think marking rocks and boulders should be part of the astronaut training. An hour a day should suffice. Oh my. That would make all of us astronauts, which would be a blast. That's kind of amazing. They may not have the time in their schedule for that, depending on how intense their training is. Which I have no idea of how intense their training is. I don't know what their schedule's like. I just know... Oh, I heard a car door. That's not good. I just know that their, you know, astronaut training's no joke. And if this was something that could be done on iPhones, you know, smartphones, tablets, we could probably get even more people to do this, but we can't do that because the resolution just isn't there. So I don't know if it freaks out about tablets. I know it will freak out about phones. So yeah, that's not a part of a boulder. That's already a part of a boulder. Come on, there it is. So, this is a software taking into account we may have different styles of marking. I seem to mark much more rocks than you. All of our marks are going to be combined. And then things that have been marked several times are going to definitely be marked. And I think it does take into account that, you know, different people mark differently. Yeah. But I think the goal is just to combine everything right now. I really don't, other than that, I really don't know. I haven't looked at any of this code. I can see the code for all of this, but I haven't looked at, I don't know how it's all combined and things like that nature. So, most tablets run off the cell phone platforms. They do, they have ARM processors. But the screens are a bit bigger. So, and tablets generally identify themselves to web services as tablets and not as phones. And yes, you can test this. Okay. I want to call it done on this image. Oh. Because there's a lot. There's a lot. There's a lot. And image done. I'm glad I pointed Tinker towards the Cheerios. She's doing a good job of cleaning up the floor. Oh my goodness. Oof, 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 oof. Socking Cats just says, just imagine us all going to space together. I really don't want to go to space. I'll go to like suborbit, but I don't want to go to space. DPI says the processors aren't the problem, but can you imagine yourself marking a rock with your finger on a touch screen? Good luck with that. Yes, and that is exactly what the problem is. And we've had people contacting us and be like, we want to contribute, we want to do this, but you know, we only have smartphones, which is the case for a lot of people. And the resolution of the screens just aren't there. You don't have the precision that you need to mark. So, Bermina says, I use a stylus to do the marking. Are you doing it on a tablet? Or do you have like a touch screen computer, or do you have a laptop that has a touch screen on it? Because I'm kind of curious. I've heard of people using Wacom tablets. Like I know a couple times I would have preferred to have like my really high precision mouse from work. Because sometimes my trackball is just not good enough. Oh, a drawing pad. Yeah, the drawing pads, the Wacom tablets are awesome. I think they really do help. Drawing tablets don't have to be expensive. You can get older ones used. Now, the ones that are essentially monitors that you can draw on, those are expensive. They're nice. They're expensive, though. Expect most laptops with touchscreen. These are tablet computer hybrids. I don't know. They've had the laptops with touchscreens for at least 10 years. They're not super common. This is an older model Bamboo, free from a friend who never used it. Yeah, we have a really old Wacom tablet at work that sits in my desk, and I barely use it, and no one else really uses it. We got it originally for my boss to do Photoshop work with, and he's just like, I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. So, guess who inherited it? I did. Because I actually will use it occasionally for like precision things when I don't feel like using a mouse. Yeah, those monitors are nice. We have one on campus. A previous coworker required it as part of her workstation, and when she left, obviously it's, you know, university property, so it stayed with us. And now it sits in another coworker's office, and she, I think, does photo work with it. But yeah. They're neat. It's different, especially because I got used to using the Wacom tablet. Also, just straight up drawing in Illustrator is awkward. I guess Photoshop lets you draw better. Like, they've made it better for drawing in Illustrator, but Illustrator is more for like vector work than for just, you know, drawing and things, which Photoshop has been, which you'd think it would just be for photography work, but no, you can do a lot of things in Photoshop. So, even though I have a bigger desk and I potentially have room for a drawing tablet, I don't know if I'd get one for home. I kind of want to work on getting a third webcam before I get a drawing tablet. Because I know for sure I'd use the webcam. I don't know for sure that I'd use the drawing tablet. Yeah, I don't like GIMP OpenCage. I really don't. I used GIMP when I first started colorizing telescope data, and when I built my new computer, I bit the bullet and decided that I was going to go for it's a relatively cheap subscription, I think. It includes Photoshop and Lightroom. And even though I don't use Lightroom as much as I thought I would, although part of me is like, I probably should use Lightroom more. I'm just kind of happy to have it. But yeah, GIMP annoys me. I know they mean well. Just like Blender annoys me. I have a love-hate relationship with Blender. I think it's finally installed on my computer again, but as y'all can see, I am not racing to use it at freaking all. I did do the thing though, just in one layer. Yeah. Twitch is draining my battery by charging. I might be gone soon. Oh, that's unfortunate. Sock my cats. Are you done? What are you barking at? No, come here. Come here. Come on. You want up here? There we go. We'll just have you up here. Ugh. It's draining your battery while charging. Yeah, programs have a tendency to do that. This might actually be my last image once I finish struggling through it. Yeah, I know, buddy. But you're barking, which means you go in my lap. Yes, it does. I know you love me. That doesn't stop the fact that, you know, you're loud. But yeah, this is totally going to be my last image because holy crap, there's so many things to mark. I'm just going to bust out the rock tool. Yeah. If Bennu was made out of Cheerios, would you go and eat all the Cheerios off of Bennu? And make it easier for us to collect the real rock samples? You would too, I know you would. Yeah, Horrible Hog, they are pretty good for free. It's just when you've had experience using better programs. Like if you've had experience using Photoshop and you go to GIMP, it is very frustrating because there's things in Photoshop that you know exist and that you're used to, because that's pretty much what happened to me is, oh, I need Photoshop to do this, but I don't have Photoshop. I don't have the money for Photoshop. And, you know, things of that nature. So, yeah. So I think that was my biggest frustration, is that I knew there were things I could do that I couldn't do in GIMP. And that just annoyed me to no end. Oh, GIMP. That word got filtered out. You'd think it would get filtered out. Oh, you hear them doing work outside. Is that why you're freaking out? My dogs are so awesome. They're like, we must protect the house. We must protect the human. We hear things outside. We must bark about them. And I'm like, that's nice, dogs. But, are they on the porch? Are they right outside the house? No? Okay. And it doesn't matter. Doot. Doot. So many rocks. And I'm just going to assume that everybody's quiet because they're also marking Bennu. I know. I know. I know. Exactly. Yeah, which is good. Everybody's... Oh, Bermina's like, I'm working on D&D. Well, you know, as long as you're working on something. So many rocks, so little roll-up. Yeah, I know. It's so bad. Rocks on boulders and boulders on rocks and... Oof. 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 And I'm starting to feel a little cross-eyed too. It's like, I know there's rocks and boulders and things, but I'm struggling to kind of tell the difference between the outlines. Yeah, having you on my lap sure isn't helping. But it's keeping you quiet. Can I convince you to lay down? I give up on this tiny keyboard. Well, I understand that frustration. I think the worst thing for me is switching between iPhone and my Android, because on Android I can swipe and on iPhone I cannot. And it's probably the most frustrating thing, because I'll go to swipe on iPhone and be like, no, you can't do this. Like, but I want to swipe. No, you have to push each letter individually. You can't just swipe patterns around on your keyboard. Okay. I know. You want me to give up on this photo, don't you? Like, Mom, I've had enough of this. You ever tried sword? Or I ever tried sword? Swap? Is that for iPhone? I miss the back button when I use iPhone instead of my Android. Me too. Me too. Favorite Humans, new Android doesn't have a physical back button or home button. And it's very weird to me. It's like this is iPhone-like. So they're kind of getting away from that on some models. I know, huh? Okay. It is a real quality of life improvement on the Gboard. Is that something I can get for iPhone? Is the Google keyboard? I may not have gotten it because I'm like, ooh, Google. Even though I have Google Maps over Apple Maps. Because they just don't compare. Google Maps, I can get public transit info. Apple Maps is like, that's not an option. Yeah, you are the bestest boy. You really are the bestest boy. Even if you are licking my face. What about OSM? What is OSM? Oh, OpenStreetMaps? I don't know if OpenStreetMaps works with public transit. I've poked at it on desktop, but a lot of what I care about, honestly, is how, how far away is the bus stop? What time does the bus come? Which I have an app on both my smartphones for, the local transit, but when Google's like, this is how much it's used, Google used to be like, this is how much it's going to cost you. Now I don't think it gives a breakdown of trip cost anymore. But Google used to do a breakdown of, this is how much it's going to cost if you drive, this is how much it's going to cost if you take the bus, this is how long it would take you if you walked or biked. And I always found that interesting and useful. Because, for those of you that don't really know me all that well, I do not own a car. I own a scooter, which is still at my parents' house. And I have not gotten to ride it all season, and it's now mid-June. Building sites have cutouts in their barriers and hoardings that are viewing places. There's nothing as relaxing as watching others working diligently. I'm just sitting here having Annie lower my blood pressure. Thanks. Aw, thank you. I know, Fluff. I'd be like, well, there's a dog, but the dog's now laying in my lap so I can see a little bit better. Suddenly it can spell. I know, Swipe is amazing, Sock and Cats. It really is. It really is. I'm just gonna... Gem Doctor, I'm gonna pet Puck for you to help, lower your blood pressure even more. He's nice and soft. He needs a bath. He's gotten into stuff, and his fur's kind of icky. What did you get into? I never tried before. It feels more vomit. Okay, that didn't work so well. You'll get the hang of it. I still have to correct it. It definitely does not like cursing, even if you add cursing to your dictionary. And if I don't catch it, a lot of times some of my text will just have the word duck in them. Or ducking. Y'all are adults. Y'all can figure out what I was really trying to say. Which I think is both like the awesomest and cutest way to just be censored. was a big yawn, Puck. Why are you so sleepy? Are you full of Cheerios and need to lay down and digest them? I know you're warm. Yeah. You don't need to lick my makeup. Oh my. This looks like a petri dish. Okay, I am going to put him down gently. Oh, you're such a good boy. Yes, you are. Yeah, I'm going to put you down gently. I'm not going to let you flop to the floor this time, okay? That is very interesting. It's kind of hilarious. I don't even know what that word means, and I find that hilarious. Alright. You could have tried deleting the word from your dictionary, which is a little tricky to do. Oof, it's a little tricky to do. Alright, so my goal was 3 images. I am definitely going to call it here because, wow. Wow. It isn't even a word. Not even in, like, German? I'd expect it to be a word in German. I don't know. I did not end up being the linguist that I could have been. Okay. Looks like I'm happy. I'm laying on the floor now. It is an ace in the Netherglow department. Oh, it's a last name? Oh. I know your keyboard is giving you trouble, and it is amusing me. Oh, it's a place in the Netherlands. Okay. See, it is a real word. It's just not an English word. You probably typed it in once and it's like, alright, she's always going to type this in. We need to remember this. It's like those random facts that you remember. Or those what you feel are super embarrassing moments that just replay in your head. Like if you have anxiety, you know what I'm talking about. And nobody else ever thinks about them ever again. Like, oh no, I said this really stupid thing. And everybody else has moved on, and in your head you're like, oh no. Yeah, that's the equivalent of what your keyboard's doing. Veronica says, lunchtime for me, catch you later. Bye, Veronica. Yeah, I'm gonna finish marking a few things, and I'm gonna call it here too, because oh my. But we did 2 images. So that's progress. And image done. And of course now I see a rock I should have marked. Oh yeah, no, we're done. We're done. This is also very rocky. Richin is Dutch for aim, so perhaps it's mast aim. Oh. Okay, yeah, no, we are done with this. It's a lot. It's a lot. Dozens of hundreds of rocks. Yeah, I feel like that's more done. And hey, we got 2 whole images done, I think. Yeah, we got 2 whole images done. All right, go us. Go us. Oh my. It is so many. But we're inching there. We're inching there. So we'll get there. We'll get there. We've got it. We've got it. Yeah, and that's pretty much all I have for you guys today. I still feel a little cross-eyed. In out for Father's Day? Yeah, it is Father's Day. I'm sure some of you have plans. And yeah, we're just gonna wrap it up here. We've gone way longer than we normally do, which is fine. We finished an image, we did a couple of images on Bennu. We're great. We had a great stream today, so thank you for everybody that, you know, hung around. I am going to get ready to run the credits, and unless you guys have, you know, a suggestion for someone to raid, I'm probably just gonna let AutoHost take over because oof. So yeah, I'm gonna start the wall of text. This has been a production of Planetary Science Institute in Tucson, Arizona, and Youngstown State University. Oh, bits! Oh, bits! Who wants bits? I hear Happy Dog. Here's the Cheerios, and make it rain! Give me 1 second, and I'll turn on the doggy camera again. Really? Don't just stare at the Cheerios. People want to watch you eat the Cheerios. So yeah, PSI working in collaboration with Youngstown State University here in Youngstown. Oh my goodness, will it ever stop raining, Ohio? PSI is a 501c3 nonprofit corporation, which is just fancy speak for your donations are tax deductible where laws allow. Speaking of donations, we are brought to you by you, so thank you to everyone who has donated bits, money, made purchases, been a patron on Patreon. All of that helps. It really does. We are entirely funded by you guys. Thank you again. I really do appreciate it. And if you can't afford to do any things, that's fine. That's fine. Guess what? Follows are free. Inflicting us on your friends and family and colleagues is free. Hanging out and chatting with us during the stream is free. I love seeing new faces. Or, you know, new usernames. You know what I mean. Our Discord is also free to join. You do have to agree to the rules before you have access to everything, but that's where, you know, we share memes and commiserate together with Bennu, and that's also really the easiest way to get in touch with, you know, the CosmoQuest community in general. And I think that's all of the important bits. Oh yeah, we stream Sunday through Friday starting at 1700 hours UTC, or 1 p.m. Eastern time when the time inevitably does change. Just remember 1 p.m. Eastern. Sundays is what you just watched here, our Sunday Science Hour, where I normally color a space telescope data, and then today we did some Bennu mapping. Monday through Friday is Daily Space, where you get space and astronomy news roundup update. Some days there's a whole lot, some days there's not a lot. And if you ever miss an episode, there's video on demand. If you miss the video on demand, everything's archived on YouTube. So yeah, you can subscribe to us on YouTube too. It's the CosmoQuest channel with lots of videos, not the CosmoQuest channel with one video. Don't start. And now my phone is ringing. And it's my father, who's probably wishing Happy Father's Day. So yeah, that's all. I am going to awkwardly roll the credits and wish my dad a Happy Father's Day. So yeah. Yeah, where's the credits? Where's the credits? All right, be awesome. Insert have a great time of day here, and yeah, things and stuff. Bye!